HCB family, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball. Hope you guys are well. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Yes, this is Lights Turned Off. I believe this is episode 4. For those of you who are not aware, Lights Turned Off is a more probably deeper analysis into the game that was, with more talking points as well, and at the same time as well, where the emotions are no longer there, so to speak. But yeah, before I get into it, hit that intro. Thank you for those who understood. That being a Warriors fan can bring out emotions and I guess as human beings it is what it is, right? Especially when you follow sport, it's trivial in that sense, but at the same time it's not. It just depends on how serious you take your sport, and I'm sure I'm no different to you guys as well. But again, just thank you again for the support there. But I look in saying that though, without further ado, we'll get straight into it. The Warriors lost to the Knights by 8 points. In a game that I think left much to be desired. I think Jazz Tevaga sort of nicely sums it, which I'll get around to it, but ultimately it's another loss. It's a loss there where Nathan Brown was talking about, trying to get over the Dragons and Knights to try and build ourselves nicely, and here we go to, it's just a continuous train wreck in my opinion, and I haven't even touched on the fact that we got Manly next week, who haven't been playing too well, and we usually like to give our opponents a bit of a kick up, so may it continue, I'm not too sure, but here we go anyway. So the best three for me, going from 3 to 1, so Reece Walsh, I thought he played good in his own way, not so good in his own way too. The thing with Reece Walsh is he's very, because he's such a electric figure, electric player in our team, there's going to be a lot of learning and a lot of ill discipline too that happens. It is what it is. And I thought, like I said, that kick in the full hurt us, but what do you do? What do you do? Number 2 for me was Aitken, 110 meters, 52 post-contact meters, 35 tackles, 1 miss as well as 0 errors. Again, he's a quiet achiever in the team, always does the small things, and to have over 110 run meters too exact was a very good effort. And for me, the player of the game for the Warriors was Toy Harris, 162 run meters, 41 tackles, no misses, as well as 0 errors. Again, in terms of just a captain just trying to do his best, trying to show us the way, I thought it was a good performance. As we know, with our Toy Harris, he does a lot of the little things correctly, and just brings us so much shape and maturity through the back, for our forward line, which I thought he showed. So again, that's it. So yeah, well done, Toy Harris for me. Now, guys, we're going to go straight to the talking points. Now, I normally have stats to talk about, but I think we're sort of beyond that now. Stats don't matter when you're basically, linking up losses together, which is what we're doing week to week. Obviously, I want to sort of touch on the week that was and the distractions that could have been. So, as we all know, the boss there, Mark Robson, basically came out and had his own point of view, had his own say regarding Matt Lodge, and even Cameron George did to a degree, and obviously Nathan Brown as well came out and he said something in the press conference too, saying that it was his fault. Again, just distractions we don't need. I don't know how it sort of affects the players. One may argue and say that it is, because if you look at the way we're playing, possibly, but at the same time as well, the way that the players are playing, it's not excusable. I don't think anyway. It's sure, it may have something to do with it, but it shouldn't. But the point being though is that I hope that this mess there that happened in the week gets solved fast. And in saying that, I don't just mean by accepting it and moving on. I if you guys can read between the lines, I hope this here gets dealt with professionally and in a way that actually gives confidence not only for the players and the board, but us fans as well. Ultimately, halves. Generally speaking, it's funny because you talk about certain players and obviously you guys as fans, you have your players you like and you don't like. So I may or may not be barking up the wrong tree or possibly saying things that may that you may disagree with. But ultimately, I just need to call it as I see it. The halves yesterday, or should I say the halves for quite some time, and in particular one particular individual. And it's not the blame game per se, but it's more so if you compare it, and anyone can say look at the forwards and the forwards aren't doing much, but ultimately if that is the case, then obviously we know our club is in a mess. But in terms of halfbacks, in terms of halves, kicking out on the full is inexcusable. It's inexcusable. It really is. And it links back to what I was saying about Shanaris Tavita and the fact that he wants to go. Just where is he at? And the thing with Sean Johnson is that to me, it seems like he's someone who's trying, but is frustrated, and it's affecting his game. Now, I don't know if he's carrying injury, and I said it before, respectfully, but again, just him not hitting the line, I'm not too sure. But just what we need from a halfback, it's not there. It's not there. It really isn't. And again, it's so hard because I'm talking about him, but then you almost think I'm trying to blame, but I'm not trying to blame him. It's just the reality is he's not. You compare him to other halfbacks in the game, right? And it's just not there. And again, there's no disrespect, absolutely no disrespect, but that's just the reality we're faced with. But yes, I want to talk about halves. Yeah, just ultimately halves yesterday were just not good enough. There was nothing there. There was nothing there apart from, that obviously great, try assist there by Johnson, but ultimately it's an 80-minute game, and you can't just show up for 2-3 minutes and then sort of go off, and then it's just we need genuine consistency, and if you bring it back to the forwards not laying the foundation, then ultimately that our team overall is a mess, right? Which is the ultimate conclusion. I also want to bring up FREDDY LUSSICK. I like what he brings to the team. It's fresh, it's new, it's vibrant. He's young too, so he's obviously going to be learning his craft there. But I mean, ultimately, I really enjoyed some of the spark he brought. Defensively too, but in saying that he's got a future in the game, and all I'm saying is that from what I'm seeing, I like it. It's better than nothing, but at the same time, it's something that can grow. And I really like what he offers, especially offensively as well. Him and Egan could work well together, I reckon, but obviously someone would have to go type thing, but I like what he's doing so far. I want to bring up is the Jazz Tevaga comment. So this here, I believe, was only specific to the New Zealand Sky or sports channel, I think it was. But he sort of goes on to basically say, long story short, our halves kick it on the full. Reece Walsh kicks it on the full. Murchie drops it. Just says the lack of concentration. And I guess he means that probably as a whole too, right? And then he goes on to talk about, he brings in a bit of an interesting comment. Talks about the jerseys, special jersey, but we have more jerseys than we do trophies. And he walks off and he says it's frustrating. Ultimately, it's just frustrating, these losses, and it compounds. And I sit there and I think, wow, someone had to say it. But it's so interesting to hear it from someone like himself, because the thing about Jazz Tevaga, as I say personally, he's the type of player that will give his all. He's a mongrel, and I mean that respectfully. He's a bulldog. He will give his all. He'll get in there. He'll get dirty. He'll get dirty, and he'll just give it his all. And ultimately, to hear him say it, to be a fly on the wall, basically. You know what I mean? Like, to be a fly on the wall. How does Nathan Brown react to that? How did the Haas react to that? How does Reece Walsh react to that? How do the players react to that overall? Sometimes we just need a bit of truth to smack us in the face. And Jazz Tevaga, I think by no surprise, should be no surprise that anyone really is a player to do it. But it's an interesting comment. And for one, I take it as a positive. But at the same time, like I said, what happens next? What happens next? Flooding young talent. I make no excuses in the sense that I'm all for it. It was good to have Dynamis Lui play, don't get me wrong. But when you have the Keppel twins there, sitting there, right, you're sort of scratching your head. You talk about trying to invest in the growth of the future of our club, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? Where's the investment? Again, and again, it's I get it, right? Experience, we need it and all that stuff. I understand. But I'm almost thinking that for me personally, I think I'm almost borderline. No, actually, I'm over that. I'm actually over the line. I think I'm actually leaning more towards blooding our talent. You got the likes of Volkman, Asi, use them. The Keppel twins, sure. It seems to me that this year is probably going to be a dud year for us, unfortunately, especially with all that talk of top paid and trying and this and that. half the bloody team has left us or is leaving us anyway. So why not just try the old technique of blooding your talent for next year? Why not? It's good to see the likes of Otogoro playing more regularly, though. To be fair, how about bringing the Keppel twins more? Why not? You know what I mean? Like, that's just what I'm talking about. Barry, you got Vaile there, which is good. But the likes of Barry, Arthurs, just see what happens. See what happens. But yeah, just give me your thoughts. And I guess last but not least as well, Robinson also came on and said that Nathan Brown is basically safe for the season. I just need to make this last point before I go into the conclusion. I don't see how sacking the coach is going to solve our issues. You could give me Stacey Jones next week and it still won't solve our issues. You can give me even Flanagan and it still won't solve our issues. We look at coaches in such high prestige as a collective, as a Warriors fan base, because we haven't had much. We had one in Payton and he just left us, and look at what he's doing for the Cowboys. I understand the psychological effect we all sort of have together, especially when it comes to coaches, but I just, for some reason, don't believe it's Nathan Brown that needs to be sacked there. Now, again, read between the lines, and I probably should be careful my words here, but I just don't think that he needs to be sacked. I don't see how sacking him will... I mean, yeah, I spoke on selections, that's true. But at the same time as well, how do we even know he's having a say? I don't know what's going on at the Warriors anymore. I'm hearing rumors of, players doing this and that at training. I don't know. I'm not going to go into them, but you get my point. But ultimately, I just don't think he should be sacked. It doesn't solve anything. Who are we going to get? We're going to get someone else, and then if the results don't go our way, and then, what? We're going to sack them again. We need some stability. We need some consistency. And I am going to, and I vouched for it before, and I vouched for it again. I just don't think he should be sacked. No matter how frustrated you get, I don't think he should be sacked. Look around you. Look at the players. Look at the look at the Warriors staff. Look at the business transactions we're making. Players that are left. Those things shouldn't come down to Nathan Brown. We need to stick with him. Yes, it's not great. Yes, the results are poor, and they're not great at all. They're frustrating. But I just don't think he should be the one that should be in the firing line, just because we're not making ends meet. There's a game plan there, I think anyway. But the players, maybe they just can't execute it. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts. Anyway, guys, as I conclude this, after everything that's happened, I just want to say, that ultimately it's rubbish. It's really, really bad. It's not even funny, actually. Warriors footy as a whole is just down the drain. I don't know what it is. You can talk about identity all you want till the cows come home, but ultimately all that matters is wins, and we're not getting it. Teams like the Dragons, Knights, heck, even Rabbitohs are games we should have won. We really should have put together patches of footy that actually mean something. 80 minutes of footy would be beautiful to see. Leading the Knights 12-0 at one stage, and then to go on to lose by 8 is just... Not only is it frustrating, but it's actually quite embarrassing as a fan to put up with. And obviously as a fan, the frustration comes out. You want to see good, and it's all good and wild to thank the boys for being in Australia and doing that stuff, because for real, it's true. Thank you. But when the results aren't showing, it's just the same thing over and over again. It's just now we're just staying in Australia. And now the boys are going to be heading into... Going back to New Zealand, July the 3rd, which should be a historic moment. But on the letter, no good. It's bittersweet. And ultimately, I think all Warriors fans just want wins. Ultimately, Warriors fans want to see the Warriors get somewhere, get into the 8, or at least be there. You know what I mean? I say season's over, but the reality is, no, it's not. It's not over yet. And things could change around. It's not over yet, but the ultimate thing is that we just don't have players there who want to will it out, who want to see it out, who want to fight it out, who want to, just show pride. I don't think anyway. Ultimately, I think the club's in a mess. It's in a disarray from top to bottom. And it's not great. But anyway, you give me your thoughts. This has been a longer sort of a discussion. Thank you for sticking this long if you've been listening. Give me your thoughts too. But again, thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. Take it easy. See you guys next time. And just give me your opinions overall. Hold the ball. Go the Warriors.